Oh, hello, welcome to the channel. Now the reason I was doing a channel update, that drawing was my parents, where my parents lived, and they're deceased. And somebody was commenting yesterday on Facebook about Andrew Carnegie from Dunfermline, and I hadn't actually realised at the time, because my dad was one of these quiet men and never said much about stuff. That painting there, I bought that somewhere, and there's a lady, Robertson, I think it's Sheila, or is it Susan Chunel? It's actually quite a nice painting, and I was selling it, and then I had it on quite high price and nobody wanted to buy it, and then I dropped it a bit, and then all of a sudden there's loads of people wanting to buy it. And then I started to think, actually I like it, you know, so it's not really the sort of thing I would do. To me it's a bit boring, but so I'm sort of hanging on to it now. The thing is, I could have my own painting up there, but I mean, you know, having your own art all over the place is, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure it's totally healthy, really, you know. Right, so I mean, what I'm going to do is a quick channel update. I mean, obviously it's quite expensive to get stuff framed, but these lot here, I think it'd be a good idea to change them over, you know, like put something else up. You know, I think that's what I'm probably going to look for. Is so we can have it even for this video, and my aim is to sort of try and turn this place into an art museum. But the only thing that's holding it up is me being here. What the fuck are you laughing at? Right, okay, channel update. Right, because quite a lot of snotograms, a lot of silly people. I'll try and deal with it. It's quite interesting. I believe some of the topics are interesting, right? So that's why I do this. 2,264 subscribers. The top video, still, people are still watching it. 202,000, it's nearly 203,000. It's slowed down. I mean, I'm not watching it as much, it's only 14 views. It tends to be low. At this time in the morning, it's 10 to 8 in the morning, so it's probably because most of the people are watching it in the UK. Comments. I'll need to speed up a bit. I put a few on last night and got a lot of views right away. I had a video that went on that this one here started to get a lot of views very quickly. It's not, I mean, it's just me driving round bloody Bannockburn interchange.
The van.
Yeah.
Got him like
Right.
line of sight.
So I mean, that Bannockburn interchange, what it is, right, and I'm just, you know, it's entertainment, this channel. It's really, that's what it's for. That's why I'm doing this. But that Bannockburn interchange, there's sort of two types of drivers on it, or three types of drivers. And one is the type of driver like me who's very confident. The problem when you've got people like me and all the other confident drivers, we're sort of flying around all over the place. And then you get people who don't give a shit and drive slowly, and they get in the fucking way. And you also get the third type who don't know how to use the roundabout. So like, nobody knows how to use the roundabout, right? But confident drivers like me and all these other drivers don't give a shit. And we just like drive like, it's the same, like I can drive in London, for example, right? And a lot of people wouldn't be able to do that, but it's just the type of person I am. So this roundabout doesn't really cater for everybody. So everybody's, and it's very busy, so there's all different people on it at the same time. And it's quite nerve-wracking for people that are not used to it. So, yeah, there you go, right, so let's not go on about that. What am I supposed to do about it? You know, it's not me that designed it, and I'm not involved in the government. And obviously these, this one, right, this, like, what's the issue, right? This was St Ninian's blue car going round the roundabout. It's just, it's nothing. This video, I've got a feeling this video is actually going to take too long the Chunel update because I was too much of need to get on about. I think we'll do it in 2 or 3 parts. That's all it is. Driving down there, St Ninians roundabout. There's a light blue car. I quite like the look of it, actually, the car. I don't know what it is it I see it? That probably, I don't know why I put that video up. So there's 22 people liked it and 20 disliked it. So clearly, there's a lot of people viewed it. You know, there's a lot of people viewed that video. Let's have a look and see how many. Well, 10,115 people, right? So that's more than no people. You're correct, because like, well done, right? So there's a lot of sarcasm in that, right? Wow. Blue car, oh my fucking god. So the car drives all the givey man. See, there's people looking, there's people who are looking at that and going, right, there's got to be some terrible thing going on here, right? But pointless. Oh, it's a Hyundai GT. Okay, right. Pointless video. What's the issue? So this person here, what's the issue? So I said, is there an issue? That's what I said, so why ask me? Well, so then I said, I am asking you because you have already decided that there is an issue. It's not me who believes there is an issue, it's you. Why do you believe there is an issue? We need an in-depth analysis. Let's go. Guess what? They disappeared. So it's like, what, you know, it's that type of question. Somebody said something to me yesterday, and it was a question that already had, like, there'd already been a trial in this person's head. So they came to this level, and they were pushing it to me. So I was then led away from the initial. So this would be, what's the issue? I mean, maybe I'm doing this video to try and... I mean, I'm not even claiming to be brilliant at dealing with what people say and dealing with people and everything. I'm not, right? I'm not that good at that, right? But we can try. Let's try. So there is no... The video was put on for no specific reason. And the reason for that is it doesn't have to, right? It's just a video of me at a roundabout, and that's what I do. It happened to be quite a reasonable, nice looking car, and that's why I put it on. It's an unusual colour, but a lot of colours have changed, right? There's all these things about it. But maybe I should explain all that. So this person's disappeared. Marianne McCann. It's not really an unreasonable thing to ask. What's the issue? You know. So yeah, thanks for the comment, Marianne. Sorry if I'm being so horrible. Right, so next. The cyclist was mad. I went over that already, haven't we? Look at the daft cow standing around about. Someone report the saloon. Well, the bicyclist Beth Graham is her name. She's sent me a few snotograms. She's obviously a cyclist, and she's upset about my opinions on cycling. But yeah, okay. There is some people who kind of like have this idea that cycling, it's a bit like a transgender thing. So the transgender ideology or whatever it is, or the groups, everything like that, or the community, like they call it community. I'll say it in inverted commas because I don't believe there is a transgender community. It's the same as the black community. You know, I mean, the reality is we have communities, and we shouldn't have black communities or transgender communities. We also shouldn't have cycling communities. You know, because it starts to put people into little boxes, that they're in this box, and that's where these cycling types are going. And I have met, in the transgender thing, I've met a cyclist who was going for that type of thing, that it would be a protected characteristic. I mean, that's just, you know, that's extremism. You know, get on your bike, cycle, enjoy it, have a great time, but it doesn't make you a cyclist as in a protected characteristic. You know, it's just this bollocks, right? So get a grip in reality. That's what I would like to say. And somebody should have told me to get a grip on reality. In my past, a lot of things I've done are stupid, right? So, well, this one, arguing with a true Scotsman in his own homeland, go home to your own country and argue with him. Well, okay, right, just ignore it. Right, let's go up and look. That's the ones that have been published. So, I mean, really, like, I'll publish things if I think they're kind of okay. Or sometimes I'll maybe think about it for a while and get rid of them. But, like that Beth, I don't think she's a bad person. She just needs to calm down a bit. Maybe she's a wee bit autistic or something, and doesn't really get the, what I'm on about, And yeah, it's like, I mean, I get up people's noses, right? So, what's funny, is he a better driver than the tit that's doing the filming? That's the Mitsubishi one again. Well, so he's actually offensive there, so calling me a tit, it's only one thing I can do. Yeah. What I did think about doing one day is, these people that I've blocked, and there's quite a big list, is these we're looking at here are held for review, so you can't see them. Well, you can't now because I'm videoing it. So this one, I've get this a few times. That fucking accent, by the way, Jesus Christ. I mean, so the accent is my accent.
Pull out to the fucking edge. Obviously. Don't bother about Hyundais. They're just Korean bloody cars, aren't they? Right. Maximum throttle. Oh! Just pull out to the fucking edge.
I just don't, I don't get that accent thing. I don't get that. I mean, I can't, I live where I come from and the way in actual fact, the way everybody has an accent, right? So I didn't sort of choose my accent. I didn't wake up in the morning and go, this is the sort of accent that I'm going to go for. And your accent is generally, what's the word? Well, it evolves as do the other people that you're around. So most so probably when you go to school. So like if you're, say like your parents, in my case, my dad was from Stirling. So I lived in the Highlands and I lived in Aberdeenshire. But when I was in the Highlands, I spoke the way they speak there. And then when I went to Aberdeenshire, I spoke the way they speak in Aberdeenshire. And then I went to the borders and it probably changed. And then I came to Stirling. So it's probably changed. So it's got bits of everything in it. Maybe I'm over-analysing this. I think it's an ignorant thing to say, that fucking accent. That you would say that to this person that's got this channel. You don't care. So if you don't care, well, there's no really point in you being here, is there? Stoob. I think the problem with the internet, Facebook and YouTube is it's anonymous. So so you can pretty much say how you feel, what you can be really horrible at people. So I believe in free speech. I believe you should be able to say what you want, but you also you've got to live with the consequences. If you say, imagine you said, "Oh, I got food poisoning in this restaurant. It was totally shite. I was ill for 2 weeks after being there," and you then book the restaurant, and they say, "Oh, I don't want you in here because I've seen what you said about our restaurant." That's a consequence of what you've said, Or like, imagine you say, you're in a village, there's only one pub, and you go and say, this is a shit pub, the beer's fucking awful, and I wouldn't advise them to go in there. Then you feel like going in there one day. So that's like an example of consequences. I think what we'll do is we'll go down to the hidden ones first, because I could be blocking somebody who's also said a obnoxious thing. Okay, get a life, you glass eye. I mean, that's like, wow. What a weird thing to say. That's about it. Both a fun and educational cartoon channel aimed at kids. Wow. Aimed at kids. That's right. Both a fun and educational cartoon. It's not very well written, that, is it? Both are fun. So it's both as in more than one, and then as in one in the same sentence. Both are fun and educational cartoon channel aimed at kids. Both. That's actually causing like a bit of a thing in my head that it just doesn't sound right, even though it's probably not. I mean, if you're aiming channel at kids, you shouldn't really be slagging off adults, you know. But it sounds a bit weird that aimed at kids. I mean, what? Ooh, yeah, you know, those weirdos will turn up. Right, this one, so we'll delete that. This one, I moved to Scotland. This guy is actually saying, I believe he's an English person living in Scotland, and he's saying the truth. And a lot of Scots have come on and slagged fuck out this guy, but their messages have went into my hidden comments folder, because I've got it set up that way. So the abuse has been aimed at this guy, and what he's saying is right, because these people are thick. They don't understand what he's saying. What he's saying is, he moved to Scotland 6 years ago. One of the biggest things he's noticed is nobody indicates in Scotland. I know it's a bit of a sweeping statement. It's probably not accurate. What he's saying is it seems that way. So I've been told by numerous Scots, if you indicate, you're too nice. Now the fact is, Scotland is less populated than England. So when you drive down south, you know, it's a very busy, say like the West Midlands. I mean, I've driven the West Midlands quite a lot. You kind of fuck about down there, like they do in Scotland, dithering around, driving like fannies, not indicating, being an idiot, because it's quieter up here. Well, of course, where I'm living right now, central Scotland, very busy. But generally, Scotland is quiet, because there's less people live here, simple. So this is another example. Shut up, take a day off from being a wet wipe. Well, I'm not having racism on my channel, and there's been a lot of anti-English stuff about that, and this guy is actually saying the truth. It's a very valid point he's making, and that Scottish people don't indicate. So people in Scotland don't indicate, and they drive like fannies, and he's correct. It's because it's not as busy as it is down south. It's simple. It's a geographical thing. It's not about fucking. So I've had people saying not happy with him being in Scotland, all that sort of, let's move on from that, who cares? Right, this one's a bit of a heavy one. Maybe we should do a different video for this. What about getting permission? Right, this is Graveyard Logie Kirk, right? I know time's wearing on here. That's 17 minutes already. I'm going to have to do this quick. So I do graveyard videos, I've done a few. Generally wander around the graveyard. Their sort of thing. And generally I have videoed my own ancestors. My own ancestors, yeah. And
Blue sky.
that's really it. But in this video, I got near the end, and that's probably the only one, that I actually specifically videoed. So this one, it's got a burn nose, right? I'm not sure whether I'm going to send a message back to this lady. She's a woman, right? What about getting permission from relatives before featuring? No, I'll do it again. What about getting permission from relatives before featuring your loved ones? Grief to your video, ? My father is buried in Logie. I will be buried there. Dignity and respect. Well, it's like, there's a whole load of things. There's a Fife. I was thinking she's a woman, Thursday, because I got an A at the end of it. Yeah, you're into a lot of different things there. No, you can't get permission from relatives, because what does that mean, relatives? What does that mean? She might have a bit of a point. Maybe I shouldn't have filmed that. That. And from the perspective I was looking at, it was an impressive stone, Yeah, it's got somebody's name on it. But what you've got, this woman's thick, because she hasn't analysed the whole grave thing, and conceptually thought about it and sat and think, give it a bit of thought. Thinking, is it the right thing what we do? So you're dead, there's a stone gets put in your memory, your remains, as far as I know, well, some people get cremated. Your remains get buried in this big wooden box, and you get buried in the ground, and there's a stone, and there's stuff gets written on it. And usually for the first few years, people go and lay flowers. Stones are often well kept. After a few years, I don't know how many years it typically is, nobody gives a flying shit, right? So get a grip of yourself. This woman has not, she hasn't faced up to the reality that we're all going to die. So I will be buried there, dignity and respect. Well, that's your idea of dignity and respect, you know. And the thing is, I can go on the website and get pictures of probably most of these stones, you know. So do they have to go get permission from me? So you're inaccurate there. I don't agree with you, but I believe you've got a wee bit of a point. There's part of me says you've maybe got a bit of a point, but not enough for me to accept what you're saying, because I don't agree with what you're saying. I think you need to get you have demonstrated that you haven't accepted death. You know, that's really the way I see it, and I've got a right to see things the way I see things, right? And all you need to do is go to graveyards where all this, like, go up to Holyrood, Stirling, next to the castle, and they're all falling down, big stones falling over, and these were top Protestants, right? You know, top people in their communities, spent a lot of money on impressive stones, and you know what? Nobody gives a fuck, right? That's just the way it goes. And you know, someday, Thursday, whatever your fucking name is, they're going to come along and they're going to shovel up your grave, your body, the stones, and they'll dump it. And that's probably what will happen. That might not happen, but I believe anything can happen. So get a grip, right? I might answer that. I don't know if I should really go into it, because it could be a bit tricky. I think it's probably better is you're just deleting the comment, but I'll think about it. So I think I'm going. There's another interesting. I'm not sure if we've really got time to go over it. I'll try and do it quickly. So this guy says, get a job. So I said, no, this is the issue. If you get, so, right, there's a phrase from the Bible, don't cast pearl over swine. I think it's something like that, right? Get a job. So I decided to answer him. For someone with 3 jobs, no, I said, see, it's not been blocked. Let's have a look. Get a job. And have 4 jobs, don't be silly. He says get a job, I says have 4. So what he's talking about is me filming a van in a Vauxhall down London Avenue. So he's saying get a job, and I said, so then he says, for someone with 3 jobs, looks like you have an awful amount of spare time in your hands. And then he also sent another message. 17 hours ago he told me to get a job. 18 hours ago, you need a job, mate. Just stand in roundabouts all day. Aye. And that way I can tell he's from Central Scotland, because they say that dumb thing all day. Aye. Answering themselves. It's so really the reason. So I thought, oh, I'll answer again. No, don't. Right? He said get a job. You've already said you've got 3 jobs. That's been rejected. This guy thinks I don't have a job. He's already worked it out. That's what he thinks my position is. So it's a very difficult scenario for me to get into, because I don't really want to overshare and start explaining my circumstances, you know. Because I've got a lot of peasants like him. He's probably a bit of a peasant. He doesn't understand my demographic. He thinks he's doing everything. He might not even have a job himself, right? But because the thing about the roundabouts is, he sees me in this roundabout videos. The videos that I do in roundabouts, I'll do them when I'm away places, and they usually don't take that long, actually. Maybe 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. You know, so I'm sitting here justifying myself. I think I've had enough of this guy. You know, he's hell-bent. He doesn't even, this is our thing, he's anonymous. Corpse Nugget. What the fuck's that? Corpse Nugget. Fucking nugget, alright. Idiot. You know? So it's a troll. He's a troll. It's like, you need a job, mate, just stand around it's all day. I mean, I'm lucky that I can do that. Sure, of course I am. You know, but back to what I was saying about Andrew Carnegie, you know. That gives you a clue, right? How I can stand a bit in roundabouts all day. But I don't want to overshare, but I think it's like everybody's got their own life to lead, you know. Let's go into this. I mean, it's like, look at the jobs that people have, and they're stuck in these jobs. They're shit jobs. You go and do a job, and there's no future in it. You're just doing it. You know, and you do it day in and day out and day out, and all the while your rent's going up, or the price of fuel's going up, food's going up, cat food's going up, everything goes up, right? And you're still doing that job, and that there's no hope for you. You're just stuck in this miserable, crap life that's your own doing. I'm not like that. I'm different, right? But I've also got to pay the price in other ways. You know, like things about me that I've got to pay for. So fuck off, Corpse Nugget. You're a moron, right? So did I already block him? Let's go and block him again. Yeah, I did unhide user from the channel. I mean, right, let's move on from this. It's annoyed me. Don't let people annoy you. I did have proper jobs. If that's what he means. I've had proper jobs. I've had a lot of proper jobs, and I don't have a. What I mean is, I don't work for a company. I don't, So when you're self-employed like I am, it's different. So you fuck about more, right? That's just one of the advantages of it. But equally, having a proper job's better because you know when you're working, you go to work, you come home from work, and you go and do non-work things. But when you're like me, you're fucking constantly fucking working. There's no thing. There's no barrier down when it stops. With me, there isn't that. So, it might be better. Maybe he's right. But no, you don't give people advice. Fuck off, right? You do not tell people what to do. It's a stupid thing to do. It's never going to work. Nobody ever listens to you. Everybody hates you, right? So, bin that, and bin that, and that's that. That's me drawing a line under that. Stop going on about it. I'm going on about it too much. So thanks for watching. My job is I'm an artist primarily. I need to get more art done. Yeah, that's what my job is, and I need to get on with it. So thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye.